I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Jamie?
Mrs. Brew?
Here.
Mr. Kramer?
Here.
Mr. Meningini? Mr. Marrero? Mrs. Stegalow?
Here.
Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to excuse Mr. Moraro and Mr. McGee.
Support.
Better be on the ball tonight.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Steigerwald?
Yes.
Move on to the approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
That I support.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Steigerwald?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes. Approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of September 17th, 2025.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes for the regular meeting of September 17th, 2025.
Support.
Mrs. Steigerwald?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes. Approval of the minutes, closed session of September 17th, 2025.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes for the closed session of September 17th, 2025.
Support.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mrs. Steigerwald?
Yes.
Approval of manifest 2025-19. Ricky, did you have any questions?
No, I do not have any, thank you.
Brett?
I had one thing I
Okay.
asked about Parks and Rec, the credits that are there compared to what we've charged, and asked if they could look at it and see there's something just weird. There's credits and you shouldn't have credits in that account.
Okay.
So they were to check on it.
All right, so you already brought that to attention. All right. I have none. Do I have a motion on manifest 2025-19?
Make a motion to approve manifest 2025-19 in the amount of $282,397.66.
I support.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Steigerwald?
Yes.
Anyone in attendance wishing to address the council on any item of interest shall do so now at the podium. State your name and address for the record. Comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per person. Anyone in attendance wishing to address the council on agenda items only shall do so now at the podium. State your name and address for the record. Comments shall be limited to 3 minutes. We have none. We'll move on to action items. Special event, Leif Erikson event and run. Mr. Stolten.
Thank you. So for your consideration is the annual Leif Erikson Festival. We've included the festival and the run as one event. They are essentially one event. From my understanding, not much has changed in the run or the festival itself. Of course, the biggest thing would be the request for road closures and parking lot closures, and that is similar to the last couple of years. We have 10th between Main Street and Iron, 9th between Main Street and Iron, 9th between Main Street and Norway Street, and half of 10th between Main Street and the alley heading towards Norway Street, half of 6th Avenue between Main Street and Norway Street. They do block the 2 city parking lots, one next to Mike's on Main, one by GoTech for different events, and then the Main Street closures for the run. So similar to the last couple of years, Main Street in front of City Hall will be closed from registration through the run. So basically between 7-ish till about 11:30, and then we close the half of Main Street heading north for the beginning of the race, where it's everybody clumped together. And then we had the southbound lane open for traffic for the beginning of that race. And then we moved the barricades over from the 10th to Railroad Main Street. As they return, they can return on the sidewalk because they're more spread out. We will be putting out the barricades. DDA has their own signage and things for detours and blocked roads, so we'll have all the detours around the Main Street area. But other than that, there isn't much change from the prior years.
Do we have somebody that's gonna represent the city? Are we pulling the names of the winners for the Power Week there, or are we not doing that?
We can do that. We can.
We usually
yep,
do.
Yeah, I'll be there
Okay.
in the morning and throughout the day likely. So yeah, we can figure out a way for someone to pull the names for the Public Power Week.
Yeah, and it would be nice if it was somebody from the city.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion that we approve the special event application for the Leif Erikson Festival and the Leaf Run, and the sign permit to be approved as presented, along with the additional requirements to provide at least one handicap accessible porta potty at both the band shell and at one of the city parks on the south side of Main Street.
Did forget to talk about the porta potties.
Support.
Do you want to have discussion after
Yeah.
Brett's support? I'll just mention the porta potties. I forgot to say that. That is not in their request. That is a request that I'm making that we require them to do. We have City Hall open during registration, and those bathrooms are open. But after registration, City Hall cannot accommodate the entire festival of restrooms. So after the run, I would like City Hall to close down and just have a restroom here, porta potty, and one down at the other end.
I think that's a good idea too, because there's nobody here to man it.
There's no one here.
And
after
we've
that.
already run into that, with other events here.
Yes.
Where they went in and pulled stuff off the walls and stuffed the
Yeah,
toilets.
during the run and registration, we are all here. But after that, it gets a little light.
Okay, we'll move on to item number,
Yeah,
oh,
roll
I
call.
forgot, roll call. Sorry, Jane.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes, here, I was gonna say.
Mr. Kramer?
Oh, my,
Mrs. Steigerwald?
Yes?
am I really here? I don't know. Item number 2, purchase request police radios.
So this is kind of an annual thing for the police department. They've been turning over their old radios year after year for a couple different reasons. One, just high use and just being worn out. The other is continuing to increase the compliance for encryption over the air. So this is the same. This is an in-car radio, this particular one. We did budget $6,500 for that. It is a little higher at $69,000. The budget where it comes from in total is $11,300. I don't foresee us having an issue going over that $6,500 in that budget. So the police request is that radio from Elcom, which is typically where we get these radios. There's only so many places that deal with police equipment.
I appreciate that they've been bringing them one by one, so we don't have to buy them all at one time, so.
And at some point down the road, there's going to be a more expensive radio with higher level of encryption that is specific to one of our more response teams.
Yeah. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the purchase of the Motorola APX 6500 series portable radio for a price not to exceed the amount of $6,923.81 from Elcom System.
I support.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mrs. Steigerwald?
Yes.
Item number 3, Springview Scenic Lots Purchase Agreement.
So at our previous council meeting, I think it was the last one, we discussed Moyle Construction in partnership with Allen Evan Homes to purchase the remaining 8 lots of the Norway Spring subdivision. We went into a contract with Ryan Gordon from Stevens Real Estate, who's been our realtor for years. We've been a couple years without one, but we brought him on to be our agent for that potential sale. And now we have the purchase agreement for those 8 properties at $15,000 a piece. It sounds like they are ready to start getting these going this year still. This is very good for the city. It's bringing in this home builder. The Allen Edwin Homes is the largest developer in homes in the state. I think they're using Moyle Construction as their partner in the region. And I think this is going to be a good thing for the city and a good thing for the UP in general. They're doing, I believe, other developments throughout. So housing is a need, and this is, we've had those lots for a long time.
I think it's also a great thing for the school district. Just another thing, right now, the Michigan Municipal League is working on a proposal which is called the Michigan Home Program, which is a conglomeration of incentives, different types of incentives depending on the community, to help builders build homes to address the housing crisis. And it isn't just something for Detroit or the bigger cities, it's happening up here in the smaller communities as well. I think there's also something with brownfields, but I'm not that familiar with.
Yeah, and I spoke to a representative from Moyle here the other day, and there are new programs that I'm still getting familiar with, as are they, to help with home development, brownfield being one of them, where now brownfield no longer necessarily means it has to be a contaminated site to use brownfield funding for those projects, and what can help in infrastructure as well. So something we're learning a little bit more about, and down the road I think that could be a good key for us for future development.
Do I have a motion?
One thing.
Oh, sorry, Brett.
In our packets, they had put 3 houses in there. Is this basically what the 3 houses are gonna
So,
pattern after?
yeah, I believe so. When I asked our listing agent, Ryan, for them to provide us some examples of what they intend to build. And, they are building spec homes. If you go on their website, they have a lot of different models. These were the 3 that they sent over to us. So I would expect, there are some variations within each of these models, but they look very similar, but you do have some options. But yes, I would expect these 3 to be the, and if you look at their website, I wouldn't say there's an unattractive home in their portfolio.
And just to confirm, these are not prefab homes?
Moyle made it sound like they're all stick built. I've heard both. Whether they're stick built or if they're prefabbed, prefab homes are, similar to what Dickinson Home does. They're still very high quality. But he did mention that they were stick built in place.
Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the purchase agreement as presented to Moyle Construction for the purchase of Norway Springs subdivision lots 34, 33, 32, 30, 29, 28, 26, and 28.
Support.
Mrs. Steigerwald?
Yes?
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes. We'll move on to discussion item. Item number 1, Knights Kingdom Playground replacement.
So, I wanted to kind of have a discussion about this project as we're getting, closer to a time frame where we have to start considering material purchases, getting people together, volunteer, and things like that. So what I had for council is one, the estimated cost for our play-by-design structure, which is very similar to what is there currently, the way it's laid out, the type of material, and so forth. So, that price tag is still somewhere in that 450 to 500,000. If you look at the budget outline that I presented, they show a total budget of 386,000. Now, what that doesn't include is our local item material list, so a lot of miscellaneous lumber and fasteners, things like that we don't know what that cost is. So we're still looking at that total around 500,000, with hopefully 100 plus of that being fundraised. Now, to compare it to something a little more traditional, your tubular, more metal, plastic structure, I pulled from what we did for the Spark grant through the state of Michigan that we submitted. And we worked with a a playground consultant for that, and they provided two options for us based on kind of the size. So both of these more or less fit within the same bounds of what we have. Those two options they provided us both came back at around $675,000. The caveat to that is a few things. The traditional style playground was presented to us with the poured in place flooring, so that concrete and then rubber on top. As we know, that's 200 some thousand probably for that area. On top of that, these prices came in as a constructed, not a community build, but built by the contractor. So I sent out an email to this company and our consultant again to give me an updated pricing. I assume the structure material costs have gone up, but I wanted it to be deleted, the poured in place and the contractor built in favor of a cheaper flooring and a community build, which they do. So I'm estimating between removing the poured in place and going to a community build, you can figure maybe 250 or so thousand be knocked off of that to do it in a different style. Now, there was no fence on this one, and I didn't include probably the 20 or 30,000 for the cheaper flooring. So again, when I get these hardened up, I'll have a better idea. But you're looking at anywhere between 75,000 to 125,000, maybe even say 150,000 difference between the traditional and the play-by design, with the play-by design still being more expensive. So just to kind of give you a comparison of what these would cost.
What are we planning on putting on the bottom?
It's going to be a engineered fiber.
Not wood chips, right?
It won't be wood. It'll be a compressed fiber. So not, and that's becoming more common now, because the poured in place, while very good in the beginning, it is very expensive, and it does need to be replaced over time. The concrete's still good, we still have to pour that rubber matting over top of it. But what I was trying to kind of illustrate here is, we need to consider doing something and looking at two different options, traditional compared to play-by design. And what I'm looking, for council here in the next month or so is, what are we willing to commit towards this project from a dollar amount, so that we know as staff that we need to go fundraise this extra amount to get this project done. Whether it's the traditional, whether it's the play-by design, we need to get volunteers together. We need to start sourcing a lot of different things, and it's nice to have that goal in mind of what we need to reach. I've reached out to play-by design. I told them we may or may not be able to do this in a spring or summer build next year, depending on how much we need to fundraise, how long it takes to get there, and they understand that. Materials probably for either one or 14 weeks out before you want to start that build. There's a lot of prep work. We have set aside that 300 and some thousand of the rec money, with another 150,000 coming in the spring. We have potentially here the 100,000 for the lots. I would hope that we could put something committed to this, and then I feel like we could go out there and get 100+ thousand in donations between larger sponsors, picket fence. We sell the picket fences. You get your name on it for $100 and those kind of things. But it was to kind of show that whichever way we go, if we want to fill the space in some fashion, it's not going to be cheap. I know they're doing one in Iron Mountain on Lake Antoine, and I believe someone said it was net 400 or so thousand for one of those. You could look in the catalogs and probably find something cheaper. This example is coming from a playground company that does this around the state. So I wanted to just kind of have that discussion started and try to make sure we were looking at other options. And when I get kind of a better idea of what the more traditional one looks in today's dollars with removing some amenities, I'll kind of update you guys on that. But I don't think it's going to be 150,000 compared to 500,000. I think it's going to be could be 400 or, to 500 or 300 to 500. And that gap of 200 or less, for me, looking at what we have at Strawberry Lake at Knights Kingdom, I would like the opportunity to fundraise those dollars to try to get what I think the community wants to see, and that's some of what we have.
Well, I agree we have to do something down there, if we gotta cut back a little bit. But I still also want it to be safe and nice. We said we were gonna allocate that money. Maybe we don't allocate as much. I don't know how everybody else feels, but, I'm thinking that, this is just my opinion, that, we put that aside, and we got other things going, but I'm thinking around 250,000 towards it. That's just, I don't know how everybody else feels. I'm in between that and there's 300,000. Because, it really brings a lot of people to our community. When my kids were little, that was used a lot, birthday parties and stuff. And it's, it's a shame that, because it's not in good shape, we had to shut it down. We have a lot of people that come to the community, or people in our community that walk down there. So no matter what or whatever we decide to do, I really would like to see the ball, start moving forward and see what, what we can do by fundraising and, get this thing started, because I don't want to be talking about this 3 years from now and not have something accomplished down there. Even if it means we got to make it smaller, or we have to take a couple things out.
Yeah, and I've talked to Play by Design, and there's ways to make this a little more cost effective. There's two major sections of playground, one for the larger kids, one for the smaller. You could look at that smaller section and tier that out over the next couple of years. You do some of the other stuff. You want the swing sets. The zip line isn't a necessity. That was the #1 request from the kids that were involved in this design. I don't think that cost of that is a deal breaker of all of it put together. I think that's a small on the total scale of this.
And I was told that too, because the first thing I came in and said, well, do we really need that? And they said, the kids played a big part in this, and we want the community and the kids to be part of it, and that was like the #1 thing they wanted. Well, then we cut something else if we have to, but I think if that's what the kids are looking forward to, I would like to have that in it.
Yep. Yeah. It's tough when no matter which way you go, want to get something in that space. And it doesn't fill that space, but everything, both options are expensive. But again, it's once we kind of get an idea of what we're starting with from a dollar amount, even if we know we're committed to say 250 or 300,000, and we have say our two options. We can start going to the community and businesses and say, this is where we're at. This is what we're looking at building. Depends on funding. Now, if these two projects are within 100,000 of it, my vote I'd say you go with the Play by Design and you give it the style and the playability that's been there for 30 years.
And we want something that's going to last too.
Yep. And both of these, I would be confident would last. I mean, neither of these are womanized, pressure treated lumber anymore. These are engineered plastics and metal, and they're different than what we had.
And also in that, it was great for the community to come in and do that. And also when that first came up, our city crews were a lot bigger.
Yeah.
And we had more people to be able to go down and fix a board or do this, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and the rest of us know we were pretty short-handed.
Yep.
We're smaller. I shouldn't say short-handed, but
yeah, this certainly will have less maintenance. One being new, either one, and two, the materials are not going to. They're not going to rot away. So, my plan was looking at towards the next council meeting, the latest one, maybe after that, to discuss what funding and exactly where we're gonna pull it from. I probably would be requesting that we start with 300, to try to get us to, our goal of probably around 5. And I think 200,000 in fundraising is achievable.
I think one thing, we keep talking dollar figures, right? But, if you're looking for another 200-ish thousand, and that's in kind donation as well.
Yeah, there's
That's an equipment rental, or, people donating time with equipment.
Mhm.
It's just not a dollar figure.
correct.
Right.
There is a lot of that involved as well.
Right. It's more,
Yeah.
is there a guy that has a bulldozer or a crane or
Right.
whatever? So
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah, I mean, like I say, if you look at this budget list, at least, for the play-by design, your equipment's 141, your structural plastic pieces are 160, so you're at 386 for the delivery,
right. So we're
it's-
we're actually, probably looking for volunteer. The value
A lot of
is
it, yep.
200,000.
Yep.
But it might not be a monetary donation. So we keep talking 500.
Yeah.
But
you're putting that number out there as you don't know how much you're gonna get donated. We don't know the cost of all the local materials, not just the, maybe donated equipment, but all the little things we have to buy at the lumberyard, things like that. I have a list of that. I couldn't tell you what it all costs yet. So,
I think, me personally, I tend to agree with Candy. We gotta do something, right? I mean, it's always been a focal point. I would like to just get down to the nuts and bolts of it. How many feet of this are we looking for? What kind of landscaping material are we looking for, so that we can actually go to somebody with a hard figure and see if they would be willing to donate something.
right, and that's kind of where it's easier to start going to people when you have that design. You know where you're at. You can tell them what you're trying to get to, and what you need. And I do kind of have more of an extensive list of materials and different types of equipment that we may need. So that was my plan, is to come back and try to get that level of commitment so that we can start pushing forward more and more, reaching out to the Mao and Solello firms, places like that, to donate to the children of this community.
And I agree with Brett too. I mean, I think he makes a good point. It's not just money.
Correct.
We're gonna need volunteers too.
And that's
Because we can buy whatever, but if we don't get it in and put in right and that accomplished, it's no good either.
There is 2 separate fundraising efforts. One is monetary and the donated equipment. The other is the committees that we have to set up to start actually the building of this. We need committees that are focused on food for the volunteers. Committees focused on the tools, safety. People to watch the children of the parents that are here to help build. There is a whole other layer to this. And again, similar to fundraising, you need to show what you're trying to get them excited to want to start committing to that. So there are several layers to this onion that we have to get through.
I agree. It's going to be a community effort all around, just like the last playground, from what I understand. That was a community effort as well. I think we can definitely contribute 300,000 if we can try to at least fundraise 100,000 or some more of that. That would be helpful, and try to get the whole thing in one go. Thank you for all the work that's been put into all the
Yes.
different ideas.
And as soon as I get, again, more hard numbers on what the more traditional would be, minus those few things, be more apples to apples. Well, I'll bring that back.
Well, I like that you're bringing it to us ahead of time, even though you don't have, and you're telling us it ain't hard numbers. Cause, you know, we've gotta make a decision. You like to wrap your head around it and be thinking about
Yeah.
what we gotta do.
Yeah, and Knights Kingdom, you know, we're slowly starting to dismantle that. It's at that point. You know, and if we have a gap, you know, where we don't have something ready to go, it's still the right decision to start removing it, and it's still the right decision to wait to make sure we get something there that matters. So we don't want a year gap in there, but, you know, sometimes.
Will we be able to have it dismantled enough that if it takes an additional year, hopefully not, to put in, that it's just a field?
It would just be it would just be a space.
But it's a safe space?
Yeah, we wouldn't leave any, you know, we wouldn't leave holes or things hanging. We would do our, to get it down to back to the earth.
Remind me, does the gazebo stay?
There would be untouched. That's outside of the fence line. That could use some love. But yeah, everything's within the current fenced area. Yeah. So yes, so my intention is to bring it back at the next meeting or the meeting after that for further consideration.
Sounds good. We'll move on to mayor council comments. Ricky?
I'm very excited about the two things that we've discussed today, housing and the playground.
Brett? I have nothing tonight. Dan?
The only thing I will say as a family of a federal employee, just everyone, you know, hang tough. They'll get their budget figured out, and you'll get back to work. So just hang in there.
And also, can I mention, I know we already talked about it, but let's just, another shout out for Leif Erikson Day. What's the date on it? I'm
The
sorry.
11th.
October 11th. A lot of people put hard work into this, and so people can come downtown and enjoy the day. So if you have nothing else to do, come down and check out what's going on for Leif
Yep,
Erikson Day.
absolutely.
Grant?
Nothing, thank you, Madam Mayor.
Jamie? I'm good. You're good? All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion we adjourn the meeting.
Support.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mrs. Steigerwald?
Yes.
Meeting adjourned.